Welcome back to my devlog series where I document the progress on my game Gradient. I know it's been a while, but let's take a look at what I have updated. I've gotten a bit stuck in the infamous cycle many new game devs find themselves. I'm constantly learning better and more efficient ways of doing things, so whenever I make an update or go in to fix a bug, I look around and see trash. One of the main culprits was all of the movement abilities. The glide, the dash, the blink, the teleport, the charge jump, and a new one I'll touch on shortly. I've completely rewritten all of the movement abilities, but if you've seen my other devlogs, you might not notice that anything's changed. But under the hood, the code is much more efficient and pretty much night and day in terms of layout. And as you can see, you really don't need to understand what's going on to know
what a mess.
The benefit is now that when I encounter a bug or want to add a new mechanic, it's so much quicker to update and fix. Another update I've made is related to how Hugh heals. I've added a completely original combination of animations and sound effects. After some playtesting with friends, it became obvious that I needed to add some audio-visual feedback for the heal.
But it's only temporary!
In terms of gameplay, you might have noticed that the grapple hook has undergone a complete rework. There are now set grapple points, but it's available to all movesets and not just yellow. As a brief explanation on how it works, there are two key points, the target point and the destination. The target point lets me attach the grapple to a specific location in the world, while the destination ensures who ends up in the right place. So I can move that point around on a case-by-case basis, regardless of the terrain. There's also various checks for angles, calculations on the ballistic trajectory, but to be honest, I found most of the math online, so it was as hard as copy-paste. This update also saves me from an issue I was facing. The old grapple hook was able to grapple onto any surface, but that would consistently allow players to simply break the level design in boring ways. But with the grapple now removed from yellow, I bet you're already wondering,
so what does he do now?
Yellow now has a short-range flight ability. When you hold down the dash key, as long as Hugh has some charge left, you'll be launched in the direction that the camera is pointing. This gives Yellow a great deal of control and precision when it comes to his dash. And this approach aligns with Yellow's focus on precision and charging abilities. Another thing that was broken, but in a completely different way, were all the weapons. So I decided to completely remove the previous code I had for all the projectiles, and I've introduced a new mechanic I'm tentatively calling Charms, but I know I'm going to change that name before launch. I do want to keep some of the abilities surprise up to launch, but to give you an idea of what I'm going for, I drew a lot of inspiration from Destiny's exotic weapons. The biggest difference is, since you only have two weapons available at any given time, the ADS weapon and the hipfire weapon, I can explore some more unique synergies between those two. Some charms are pretty straightforward, like this yellow charm that just speeds up the weapon's charge time, but it comes at the cost of reducing the total damage per shot. On the not so straightforward front, Yellow has a charm that lets you mark an enemy when ADS. You can see the UI elements surrounding the enemy that's marked, and all hip-fired projectiles track directly towards that marked target. So when you ADS, you have to be precise for just a moment, but you can basically just shoot in the general direction of the enemy and the projectiles will track directly to it. Currently I have 5 charms for the 3 colors, and that includes the base weapon that I've covered in my earlier devlogs. So with those 3 colors, that totals 15 charms, and that is 30 total different weapons. This has added a huge variety in gameplay, and also allows for more customization in terms of preference. I've designed charms so that they're always of benefit, but some are only slight modifications to the base weapon, while others are going to require a complete change in approach when equipped. If you've followed any of my other videos, you've probably noticed that I have made updates to the UI for each color. These updates were made to better display the ammo counts, the charge amounts, and just general information on status of abilities. I definitely see them as still a work in progress, but I feel like I'm definitely headed in the right direction. So when you're green, you can see the number of teleport charges at the top, the ammo count at the bottom. Shotguns and rocket launchers draw from the same ammo reserve, but they cost different amounts, and I'm still working on a way to display that clearly and quickly. For red, you can see the charge depleting as you glide. It'll recharge slowly if you're in the air, and recharges quickly once you've landed on ground. The ammo count is displayed along the bottom semicircle, and the active reload displays in the same place when you're out of ammo. With yellow, you can see the remaining duration you have to fly up at the top, the jump charge amount there on the left, and the weapon charge amount on the right. I added these before the release of Armored Core 6, but after playing that game, I definitely have been drawing more inspiration from how they display ammo counts, cooldowns, and their dash system, clearly and quickly communicating that visually. If you're still here, congratulations, you made it to the end, and I can't thank you enough. Please consider giving it a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video, and subscribe if you want to keep up to date.